Hello, and welcome back. We have the next episode of Dragon Ball Daima, episode 7, Collar. Considering the Tatars have been very good at, having information about what the episode's going to be about, I'd assume it's going to be something about the collars all the people in the third demon realm wear. But anyway, before we get into any stuff about collars, we're actually going back to Earth on the lookout, where Bulma's getting annoyed because, the ship broke, and apparently it uses an element from the demon realm, blah, 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 blah. They are stranded. So it seems we already know Hybis is on the way, and his ship arrives. I love this part here, where the moment the ship arrives, Vegeta just stands in front of Bulma, sort of in a protective stance. But Hybis introduces himself. He's come to get them, and we change scenes to the other guys. More food from the demon realm. This time we've got manpuku dumplings that supposedly feed you for 2 meals, and Goku eats 3 off the bat. Of course he does. So of course, Goku eating correction 2, we get pregnant Goku, as always. So, there's that comic relief and all that. And it's as if we don't get enough of the Goku's a bad dad jokes. Pansy asks Goku why, how he raised a kid, and Goku's like, "Oh, I wasn't really involved." Never gonna beat those accusations. So a little touch I think was kind of cool here. We change scenes, and it's the other guys again in Hybis' ship. So we kind of get an idea of the other crew. So it's going to be Hybis, Vegeta, Bulma, and Piccolo. Kibito, as it says here, supposedly stay behind. He's looking after the temple. Why? Well, does anyone really need to look after it? Who's going to disturb it? Popo could have been left alone, but whatever. Kibito would have just been another person that didn't really need to get involved, so it doesn't really matter. I think it's fine. So next up, we switch scenes again. We're back with Goku and pals, and I found this kind of interesting that Pansy is the first one to spot a far off Gendamari ship. Glorio has to use a spyglass, and Goku, well, he kind of does this. But it's interesting she saw it first. I don't know if that's gonna come up at some point, she's got good vision or something, but that's a thing. So they're getting kind of searched for by the Gendamari. So this next bit was kind of interesting, but short-lived. They decide they'll try and avoid the Gendamari ship by finding a different route, but as they're turning around, they immediately just get intercepted by the ship anyway, so that's a bust. So it's established here that they found the guys so easily because when they previously interrogated them when Goku was off having a dump, they scanned Pansy's collar, which means now they can track her. So I thought, oh, what does this mean? Does that mean she's going to be sort of a hindrance? And maybe that's why the reason for the episode title of Collar. This collar on her is going to be a hindrance throughout the episode, but not the case, as we'll find out later. But anyway, this next scene was kind of cool as well. They say, oh, they realized that they didn't realize Goku was on the ship, otherwise they would have fired immediately. So they kind of play along for a bit, and Pansy's worried because they're like, oh, they'll search the entire ship, they'll find Goku. But Supreme Kai seems to have a plan, or he doesn't seem worried at all. And we find out, well, we don't find out. Sorry, it's one of Goku's abilities. We've known about it for a while. When they go into such a ship, he uses instant transmission, locks onto Supreme Kai's ki, and just appears behind them. And then he goes hides in the bushes. Clever. I mean, we haven't seen instant transmission used that way before, so that's cool. Using it for stealth. So their plan almost works, but unfortunately they try and arrest Pansy because they remember the masked girl that attacked them with the dud bomb and then the stun baton, and they think it's her, so they have to fight. So they're kind of fugitives anyway at this point, unless they take them all out. So this next scene I actually thought was really cool. We actually get to see Supreme Kai fight, and previously we've only seen him kind of get bodied by Majin Buu. So it's nice to see him, fight competently for a change against a bunch of weaklings. But he gets to show off his stuff a bit. So the fight was all right. A bunch of weaklings, but Glorio and Supreme Kai do most of the work, and then Goku finishes them off with a little blast, which sends them flying off. So that's them dealt with. Unfortunately, their plane gets destroyed in the fracas. So they're 0 for 2 on planes. Luckily, though, there's a perfectly intact Gendamari plane just waiting for them. So before they take off, Pansy is upset because she realizes the whole collar fiasco means that she'll be traced. And I think it's kind of cool that Supreme Kai immediately just goes over, examines the collar. He's like, "Oh, that's Kachin tight. I knew it." Obviously, what they called Kachin in the dub in Dragon Ball Z, the big cube that shattered the Z sword. So it's made of the same material. Apparently, it's from the Demon Realm. It's of the place where the Glins are from. So, as if the Supreme Kai lore hadn't already been overwhelming enough, it turns out his sister Arins, I keep saying Arinsu, but I think you're not meant to pronounce the U. So, his sister Arins is the one who created the collars, and he reveals that he can destroy the collars. So, more abilities of Supreme Kai, more lore, here we go. It should just rename this, Dragon Ball Daima Supreme Kai lore, or just Dragon Ball Supreme Kai lore. It's just so much Supreme Kai lore. And as if the Supreme Kai lore had not finished already, ecstatic and delighted that he broke her collar, Pansy asks Supreme Kai's name. He immediately goes and says Shin, but she's like, "Oh, that's your outside world name. What was your demon realm name?" And he says it's Nahare. He's got a demon realm name. Oh man, learning so much about our boy Supreme Kai. So I'll skim over this next sequence pretty briefly, but essentially Pansy gets a new pin code from her friend who can hack into the ship or whatever. So that's sorted, and it's also established that Hybis and Vegeta and all the rest have arrived in the third demon realm, so they're there too. But they're not gonna wait. They're not gonna wait up for it because they want to get stuff done. I think Goku just wants to fight the Tamagami. He's eager to get to fighting. So we switch scenes again, and this time we go to Vegeta and the gang. And I love this shot of Bulma just kind of looking up at an exploding volcano. She looks kind of adorable, probably because she's a child now, and just that cute expression or whatever, but there you go. So we'll see what they're up to. But anyway, the reunion with Vegeta, Bulma, and Piccolo is brief because after that little shot, they literally just go back to Goku, Glorio, and Pansy. And they arrive at the Tamagami, and there's a nice shot of the Tamagami before that. So I don't know, I guess this next bit was just padding to fill out the episode because they're going to have the big fight between Goku and the Tamagami next episode. But he decides before he's going to fight, he's going to get some more food and use the toilet. So great. And here's a shot of more Demon Realm food that looks vile. I guess Goku's got an iron stomach. Interestingly though, before they go back to the Tamagami, it's established that Dabura could beat the Tamagami. Now, we know Dabura is about perfect cell level, so that's still below at least adult Goku at this point. I don't know, we haven't seen Goku use like his full power, so to speak, at this point, whether he can draw it all out. If he can, a Dabura level threat would be nothing to him, but well, we'll have to see what happens there. So just to wrap up, Goku and the Tamagami have a brief conversation. The Tamagami is very loud and very extra, and I love it. It's just a stupid, like, Ginyu-like pose as well. It's brilliant. I hope the other Tamagamis are like that. But we end the episode with Goku ready to fight. So I guess that's what we'll be looking forward to next time. So how do you think it'll go? I think, obviously, Goku's probably going to win, but it'll be interesting to see how much of Goku's power the Tamagami has to draw out. But, we won't see the bulk of the fight until next time. Until then, catch y'all later. Bye!